Hey, what's going on? This is Kyle at Projection Hub. In today's video, I'm going to try and explain to you and make a case to you as to why you need to make a customized business plan. Probably for your startup business, but maybe if you're an existing business or you're trying to acquire a business, but more than likely for a startup business, there is before I explain the background for that, I should introduce myself. As I mentioned, my name is Kyle. Here at Projection Hub, I work with our clients on writing custom business plans. And at Projection Hub, we've helped more than 50,000 small businesses create projections and business plans and preparing for things like SBA loans and internal planning and fundraising and all of that stuff. But before my time with Projection Hub, I worked at an SBA lender for almost 7 years, and I was helping startups and small businesses put together their loan packages and applying for SBA loans. And so I got to review a ton of business plans, tons of projections, put together those things with them, seeing what works, what doesn't work, and really what we wanted to know as a lender. And so with that experience, in today's video, I guess I should say there's this trend for a lot of times people may not realize they need a business plan for their startup until their lender's telling them they need one, or they kind of want to take the shortcut to get through that business plan. Now, there are things out there where you can go and you can buy, a pre-built business plan template. And you know what? For some situations in some industries, that might work. You provide a little bit of information, maybe you punch it in and it spits out a version of that just plugged in your name and a couple of details into your business plan. Things like a single trucking business might work for that model, right? When there's not a ton of moving parts in the business model, that solution might work. But in many cases, why the lender is going to want to make the loan is going to be more nuanced than that. And there's a couple things we can make sure we do in our business plan that can increase your chances of getting approved. And so that's why in this video, I'm going to make my case for why you need a customized business plan. And don't get it mixed up here. I'm not saying you need to hire someone to write a fully custom business plan. I'm meaning more why your business plan just needs to be custom made, whether that's by you or by an expert. And I'm going to show you a few tools and a few reasons that I think will demonstrate that. So if at any point you have any questions about your business plan or getting, an SBA loan or your projections or something like that, just feel free to drop a comment down below the video, or you can just reach out to us at support@projectionhub.com. Very responsive and would be happy to provide any help, including, free advice as you navigate this stuff. So let's go ahead and jump in. All right, here we go. So I am going to use just a few visual aids as we talk about what I think, let me see my notes here, roughly 5 points I'm going to make about why I think you should consider and just decide to make the choice to write a custom business plan or hire someone for a custom business plan rather than trying to take the shortest route possible or buying a pre-built template or something like that. Or if you did maybe buy a template, these are some things you could do to supplement that and make it better. Right? I'm just telling you should try to avoid the option where it's the most minimal effort, because that will show and you will miss a few things that could be really important to the success of your business plan. And so, starting a business is a big step. And so you don't want your first step to be half-baked. And so let me just show you a few things that I think would require kind of a custom effort, custom solution. So this isn't because lenders need a really long or fancy business plan. That's really not it. To be honest, most lenders would prefer a shorter business plan than a long one. By short, I mean 15 to 25 pages is probably pretty good. They don't need a 50-page business plan. They don't want you to go through that. They also don't want to read through that. So the first reason is because they need to believe that there is a market opportunity for what you're doing. Now, depending upon what type of lender you're working with, let's say you're talking to an SBA lender at a place you've banked for a long time. Now, bankers do and lenders do lots of different types of loans. Some lending institutions have an expertise or a specialty type of industry or deals that they work on. But chances are, especially if it's a smaller bank, they're not going to be an expert on every type of industry. And so you need to take that kind of task on your own and do some good market research and make sure that there is a good reason to make your, business or start your business in a specific market. Can't depend on your lender to just know whether it's going to be good. So they're going to be starting from a point of skepticism, most likely, right? Especially if it's a Main Street small business, starting a restaurant or something like that. They're probably just going to be skeptical because the way the numbers work out, and they can look out the window and probably see some restaurants. So the first thing is they need to believe there's a market opportunity. And there's two things we can do to kind of help demonstrate that. So I'm going to show you 2 quick free tools that are a way I like to do that. And sorry, what I have open here is just like a fictitious business plan. So that way you're just not staring at my face the whole time. It's kind of written in, a way that we would normally do a business plan, although there's some things in here that I would do slightly different, but just as a visual aid, it's going to be in here. I can talk about where I would put things in here. So the first thing is when we're demonstrating a market opportunity, let's think macro level. Okay. So think Shark Tank level. You've got the people that come in and they say let's say we're going to start a gym. We're going to open up a gym. And we say, hey, the gym exercise fitness industry is a $25 billion industry. If we just get 0.0001% of that, we'll all be millionaires. I don't care for that type of approach. We want to try to localize it as much as possible and make it seem as impactful as possible. That being said, it is helpful sometimes to look at industry-wide trends. So let's do gym. See if they've got something on here. This is gym equipment. Let's see. Hopefully they have one for gym memberships for my example. Okay, we'll just do gym equipment here, right? So this website, Grandview Research, is they're a market research company. You can pay to get full reports. I'm not encouraging to do that, but what I'm trying to tell you is if they have market research for your type of industry and business, they give you a lot of helpful information for free even, right? So we can see as a whole, is the industry growing? The size of the industry. So we can see for gym equipment, at least 2024, it's 1.36 billion. 2030 up to 7 billion, right? So they're forecasting a lot of growth. Equipment, I mean, you can see even just that growth. This is from 2015 to 2025. So this is probably pretty outdated. But just to use it as an example, even just doing some of this research to quickly support whatever it is you're trying to do, that there is a 5-10 year projected growth curve for that, right? If you went and you did this for, I don't even know if they would have this, but let's say a movie theater. We know movie theaters have struggled and have grown or gone down. And honestly, a place that I like to start is like, you can just Google it, movie theater market research trends. And, IBIS World always has good information. They're probably an industry leader in a lot of this type of stuff. You can see they're going to block out a lot of their information just for growth, but that's the type of macro research you can do. Grab a quick chart, a little bit of supportive information just to prove the fact that, it is a growing industry. So that's the macro side. And then on the micro side, so as more local. So it's great to say this whole industry is growing, that's a supportive trend for what we're doing. Something I like to do is you can go and create a free Google AdWords account, and they have a tool in here. You go over to tools and then up to keyword planner. And this allows us to see how often are people searching for specific things in specific locations on Google. So let's say I want to see in Nashville, Tennessee. Okay, here. So I just want to see only that one. We're going to take out the whole US, and I'm going to do things like, I'm going to try to simulate what my customers would be searching for. So if I do like gym near me, CrossFit near me, Pilates studio near me, yoga studio near me, right? You can search other things, but just to give you an idea. And this is going to do some nice things. So I like to search by highest amount of monthly searches. And so one, it'll give us some other related keyword ideas that other people are searching for. So we might be able to go through and be like, oh yes, that's what I meant. Or, this is, if you're trying to decide what type of gym to open up, this might be helpful to see. And another thing it's going to do, it's going to show you on average how many people are searching for that. If it's a similar keyword, like you see, these are all 8,100, it's lumping those together. Like those search terms, it's lumping those together. That's why they're all 81. So when you see that just means it's approximately that type of keyword search. But the most important thing for what we're trying to demonstrate is this trend data. So less so the 3-month change. I usually chalk that up to like seasonal, short-term impacts, and more so year-over-year changes. So comparing now to last year, are more or less people on average searching for this keyword phrase? And you obviously want to see growth. So you can see things like in yoga significantly, 22% in general or up, and then some of them are flat. And so you can grab charts like this, keyword data from this. This is just one example. Some industries are going to have growth, some are not, but this is the type of stuff. And you can get to a much smaller, Nashville's a pretty big city. So I would probably recommend choosing a section of the city, whether that's a town that's more of like a maybe 10-mile radius or 15-mile radius, something a little bit more applicable. But this is just a quick example of a way you can do some market demonstration in your business plan. And you're not going to be able to buy a business plan template that just has this for you. That's going to be location specific, industry specific. And so this is the type of research you can grab that, throw that in your business plan. And that's really nice support for what you're trying to do. So that's just key point number one. Your lender needs to believe that you know what you're doing. You need to believe that you're capable to run this business. So if you buy a pre-baked business plan template, let's say for your gym business, it might do all of the operational stuff really well, the marketing stuff pretty well. But where it's going to miss out on are on some of the really unique things like what we just showed with the market research. But the second one is going to be things about you, right? So especially for startup loans, one of the most important details in the formula of if you're going to get approved or not is you. So, your personal situation for finances, credit, all of that aside, they want to know that you know what you're doing and you know what you're getting yourself into. So it's really important in your business plan to write into it, both in the executive summary, so up at the top of your business plan, do a little blurb, but then also when you get down to the operations and management section, then you can do more down here. But you need to talk about what type of relevant work experience do you have? What type of skills do you have that lend themselves to be supportive of you being effective at this, that you know what you're getting yourself into. So your lender needs to be confident that you know what you're doing for them not to be worried about providing you financing. And we've got lots of other videos where we talk about that and how you can write that section well. But that's just a quick reason as to why you need to customize your business plan is you really need to go into detail on who you are, what you've done, what you know how to do. If it's not just you, do you have partners in the business? What type of experience do they have? Do you have any key managers? What do they do? What's their experience? That's a really significant portion of your business plan. So make sure that that's customized in here. Number 3, they need to believe and be confident that you'll be able to make a loan payment. So there's a lot of different factors than that. I mean, that's ultimately at the end of the day what the lender is trying to decide. Is this business going to be able to make their loan payments? That's why they're making their decision. So there's personal factors in that, like I already talked about, but including your credit, personal situation, collateral, all that kind of stuff that they're going to punch into their system, but also things like your financial projections. So if you go out and you buy a pre-baked template, and just to clarify, templates are great. We love templates. We have templates. We sell templates. We provide templates. What I'm trying to get at is the thing where you buy it, you don't do anything to it, and you hand it to somebody else. I'm trying to convince you not to do that. Apart from all the reasons I'm explaining, you also want to make sure you are the expert on your idea, your plan, your numbers, all of that stuff. So if you just hand in someone else's homework, you're going to miss that really key kind of development and kind of learning experience. And so again, they need to believe you're going to be able to make a loan payment. So where we're going to do that in the business plan is going to be down in the financial projections section. All right, so we'll use this fictitious example we've got here. I'm going to scroll down. You can see some narrative of numbers and details in here. Then you're going to see things like our projected financial state, cash flow statements. So your lenders are going to be looking for things like, when are you going to break even? What's your estimated debt service coverage ratio? DSCR, which basically they're going to want to see 1.25 or higher. And what that means is for every $1 of debt, there's going to be $1.25 of free cash flow, right? So it's basically just a fancy calculation of just saying you're going to be generating enough cash to be able to carry a loan payment. And especially if you're a startup, the only way to really do that is going to be based off of projections because your business isn't operating. So you can't just point and say, hey, look, we already make this amount of money and we can afford this loan payment. For a startup, you're going to be saying we plan to make this much money. And the more, if the projections are realistic and you're high above that 1.25 number, that gives lenders more comfort. So the only way you're going to be able to know how to answer these things and for your lender to know is for you to customize them and do your business plan. So right here, I have one of those templates pulled up that I mentioned. This is our gym financial projection template. So on our website, we've got 130 of different industries now of these. You'll go in and, sorry, my big face is in the way. You'll put in things in these little blue boxes about your gym or whatever type of business. You can see this one's customized to a gym. So we only edit these little blue boxes on these blue tabs. So got our expenses here. We're going to have salary, payroll, and then it's going to generate all of those types of numbers I was just mentioning. It's going to do all that for you. All the financial statements automatically get updated. So the reason why I'm saying you want to take that step, right? You can buy the template, but just make sure that it's a tool for you to use so that you don't have to waste time doing the calculations, but you're still doing the research. You're still crunching the numbers. You're still making sure things work rather than just being handed a pre-built or finished set of projections. You want to know what's going into those numbers so that when you put it into your business plan, they know that you know what you're doing and you'll be able to make your loan payments. Key point number 4, they need to believe, you've done your homework. So this is kind of a softer point than the first 3 I'd made. But my point is just going to be if you download a complete business plan and you give it to them, it's going to be pretty clear because you're missing things like what I'm talking about right here. So they're going to be able to see right through that. And then the 5th point is they need to believe that you have kind of the right expectations for a financing plan, a funding plan. So things like the structure. If you're going to need $500,000 to start your business, that you already know you need a 10% owner injection, and they know that you're going to want to finance $300,000 of that with an SBA loan, and that you are getting a gift or you have an outside investor for an additional $100,000, right? So you've already pieced together the puzzle of what that's going to look like, rather than just assuming that you need $500,000 to start this business, and so you're asking for $500,000 loan. So that's usually a dead giveaway that you haven't quite nailed in those details, or you kind of don't know what you're talking about. And I don't say that to make you feel bad. I'm just saying that if you've got the right structure and you've built that around what's going to work and what's doable for your life, and also for make the business work, that's a really good indication to a lender that you've thought about that, you've done some homework, you know what options you're working around, especially if you're familiar with the type of loan program you're seeking. Also going into that, if you've already identified who could be a co-signer, how much collateral you're going to have, business and personal, those types of details, if you've already got that lined up, you don't necessarily have to write those things into your business plan, but I'm going to say they're business plan adjacent. Having your financing and your structure, your ideal structure and your credit worthiness plan kind of put together already, you just can't get that from a pre-built template or tool, right? It's going to take some planning and some research to put those pieces together. So that's it. I'll leave it at that. Plead my case to you. Resist the temptation to go out there and buy or just download a free completed business plan template and then think you can hand that to your lender. It looks a lot worse than you think it does. And so I encourage you, write one on your own. You know, you can, I already mentioned we've got a bunch of free business plan templates. I know, ironically, I was just telling you not to use it. It's not that you shouldn't use a template. It's that you should complete and customize the template. So our templates are done in a way that like you can't hand this to a lender, right? It's set up in a way to guide you through doing it yourself. So grab these types of templates. It doesn't have to be ours. There's lots of them out there. Same thing for the financial projections. I've linked those down in the description below as well. If you have any questions, just let me know. I would love to answer them for you or review your business plan and projections. If you have any and you just want some feedback, we would be happy to help you do that. So yeah, if you appreciated this video and it taught you something new, give it a thumbs up, and I'll link some of the relevant tools that I demonstrated here for you today. But yeah, we will catch you on the next one. Thanks.